Hi everybody, Rob Darrow here. A short video to talk about how to create your history social science digital portfolio for this course. Now, if I was to give you a copy of the history social science framework in this binder, this is what it would look like. Over 1,000 pages. I know that as I've been teaching in my early days, we'd get binders like this. They'd hand them to us. They'd talk about us, have us look at the different pages. And then I'd go to my classroom and put it on a shelf, and in most cases, never look at it again. So for this course, we're not going to make a paper portfolio. We're going to make a digital portfolio, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So once again, here is how to create your history social science portfolio. So first, I want to make sure that you read the History Social Science Portfolio assignment and the visual guide. I'll show you both of those in just a second. Then you'll create your Google folder for this course if you haven't already done so. Then within the course Google folder, you'll create another folder labeled HSS Portfolio. And then you'll create all your HSS Portfolio pages in that folder. You'll rename the documents, and then you'll link all the pages of your History Social Science portfolio. Before you start this process, make sure that you have your Google Drive open and your History Social Science portfolio folder open and ready to go. To follow along, you'll need to use different tabs in your browser. So be ready with those different tabs. Here we go. So first, make sure that before you start doing this, that you read this entire page. So this is the HSS Portfolio page, and it gives you all the background information about creating your History Social Science portfolio. In this class, there will be 4 different portfolio checks. And on this page, it tells you what needs to be done for each portfolio check. The first portfolio check for this course will be in the 3rd week of the course. And then there's different portfolio checks throughout the whole course. So it's important that you keep each one of these up to date and that you read this ahead of time. The second thing to read is the visual guide for creating your History Social Science portfolio. Now I'm going to show you a short glance of it, but if you want to take time to read it now, then pause this video and read it so that you're prepared to create your History Social Science portfolio. Because during this video, I will go slow enough so that you can create your own video. I mean, not your video, you'll create your History Social Science portfolio as you're going through this. But you've got to have this background information before you can do that. So I just want to show you that it gives you all the steps here to create the portfolio overall. It shows you how to copy a document. It talks about how to rename the document, how to move documents, how to use the index pages, and all the different aspects. If there's some aspect of it that you don't understand, then go back and look at previous videos so you understand those before you start doing this. Because I don't want you to get frustrated doing this, although this is one of those items you may get frustrated with, but take your time, follow the steps, and I'll guide you through the process. So once again, before you start this, read the assignment about HSS portfolios and read the visual guide. And I'll link both of those on the visual guide page from which you're getting this video. So you'll have all these links as part of it. So read these first. All right, now we're going to create our History Social Science portfolio. I'm going to work off the visual guide for creating your History Social Science portfolio. Notice it says start here, and you're going to start by making a copy of the HSS Portfolio template. So I'm clicking on this, and you can see across the top, it says HSS Portfolio Index Main. In the yellow part at the top here, it tells you what to do and how to do it. In this very first one, it says click here to make a copy. So I'm going to click here. Now follow these steps very closely because this is where it gets kind of tricky. So we click on that document. It says, do you want to make a copy? Yes, I want to make a copy. So I'm clicking on make a copy. Now, once the copy is made, where you put that copy is really, really, really important. So I've made a copy of my index. I want to show you, I want to point out in the upper right-hand corner that right now this document is locked because there's that little lock button there. The other thing is it shows a picture of myself. So I know I'm in my global Google folder, which is where I want to be. If I was in CSU Monterey Bay, it would say CSUMB at the top in the upper right-hand corner, but this one has my picture and I know that this is my global Google account. So just so you know where you're at. So I've made the copy. I now need to move it. So I'm going to click on the file menu over here and go to move. Now, sometimes this move item takes a while to pop up when you first choose it. So I'm going to click on move and I'm going to go back to my drive because it clears everything and open up my drive. I know I've got things in my CSU Monterey Bay folder and I'm putting this in my visual guide folder. So I'm going down to my visual guides and I created a special folder called HSS Portfolio Video and I'm going to move it here. And notice it says, do you want to move this here? Yes, I want to move this here. So I've now moved the document and now I need to rename the document. So I'm going to get rid of where it says copy of. I'm going to leave the O1 at the beginning because then I know it will be at the top of my folder and I like that. And then I'm going to type my name here for the beginning of my History Social Science portfolio. Now, if you miss some steps of that, then pause your video, rewind, follow the steps I just did, and then do yours. The next step is to add in these other folders. So it says click here to make a copy of the My Reflections page. So I'm going to choose the My Reflections page, following the same process. Do I want to make a copy? Yes, I want to make a copy. I'm going to go over to the menu item and again, wait for that move button to show up here. Again, it takes sometimes a little time for it to pop up, but it'll pop in here in just a second. Come on, move. There it is. So there's move. And I'm going to move it to the same location. I'm going to go back to my drive, open up my drive, go down to my CSUMB folder, go down to my folder and into my HSS Portfolio Video folder. And I'm going to click move here. And I'm going to click on move. And then I'm going to rename it. I'm going to get rid of copy of, and I'm going to call it reflection page. Great, now I've got my reflection page. Now to go back and create those other pages, I've got to go back to my portfolio index page. So I've got to click on the other tab in my browser. So I just did the reflections one. Now I'm going to make a copy of who am I? So again, I'm following the same process. I click on the document to make a copy. It says make a copy. Yes, I want to make a copy. It's going to pop up and I'm going to go over to the file menu. And wait for that move button to show up here. Then it pops up. I click on move. I go back into my drive, open up my drive, open up my class folder and go to where I'm putting this into my HSS Portfolio document and move it here and click on Move. And then I'm going to rename it. I just need it to say, who am I? I've now done that. Now I'm going back to my tabs across the top, go back to my portfolio index page, and now I'm going to make a copy of unit planning. And I'm going to make a copy of that. And click on the File menu. Wait for that Move function to pop up. There it is. I'll click on Move. Open up my CSUMB folder where I'm putting the HSS Portfolio and move it here. Move and rename. Just get rid of the other stuff. I don't need the word copy for that. I go back to my portfolio index page. I'm going to follow the same steps for the lesson plan inquiry. There's 2 more parts to do there. I would encourage you to pause the video and do those last 2 parts, and then you can see what it's supposed to look like when it's all finished. Okay, so I just copied and pasted and moved my last document, the lesson plan inquiry document. Know that each one of these are elements of things we're going to be doing in our class. Now, since we've got all of these different tabs open at the top, there's one more thing to do. We want to get rid of this yellow stuff, right? Because we don't need that anymore. So I'm going to click back on the different pages. Here's my reflection page. I'm going to delete that. And the Who Am I page, I'm going to delete the stuff in yellow. The HSS unit planning document, going to delete that. Going to delete the yellow from the lesson plan that I'll eventually create. And get rid of the yellow stuff on my index page. So I'm getting rid of all the yellow stuff there. And then down here, I'm getting rid of the yellow here as well. Now that I've got copies of all these things, I don't need this stuff anymore. It will clean up the page, make it look nice and neat for you to link to other documents. So I'm going to get rid of all these lines because really all I need is this. Because it will be easier to use. And so when you're all finished, your table of contents should look like this. And now we're going to spend some time linking. So we now need to link to each one of these pages. And if you watched the previous video, you know how to do the linking now, right? So first I'm going to find my reflections page. There's my reflections page. I'm going to take the URL from that. I'm going to copy it here. Go back to my index page. Highlight the word link to my reflections page. Go to insert link, or you can do Control K, or you can do right mouse click K and create your own link. So now I've got the link to there. Once I've got the link, we don't really need the highlight to be in blue anymore. So I'm going to get rid of that so that all I have is this link to my reflections page. Now I'm going to go find my Who Am I document. I'm going to copy that URL, go back, make that link. Go to my unit planning page, copy that, I'm now highlighting the text and doing Control K and then Control V, which is Control K opens up the link, Control V pastes. And then the lesson plan, not the inquiry one, the other one. There's the lesson plan. Copy that, go back to my link page, make that link the inquiry one. There's my lesson inquiry, there it is. And again, I'm getting rid of all the blue stuff because that was just to show you the parts that need to link. But if you like the color blue, that's fine. I'm going to get rid of this. So then your index page should look something like this. And the rest of the things that are linked in blue are other things you'll eventually link in future assignments in this class. The final thing is to create a link back to your portfolio page from each of the pages. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to copy the URL of my portfolio page. I'm going to go to each one of my inside pages. So here's my lesson page. And I'm going to just type in the words back to index page. I'm going to highlight that, open it up to make a hyperlink, paste it in there, and there's my link for that. Now, I can copy this link and just put it on all my other pages. So that's what I'm going to do, because then I don't have to copy and paste again. So I'm now going to my lesson plan page, and I'm just pasting it there. It's yellow with a blue hyperlink. That's okay. I kind of like that. Going to my unit planning page, pasting there. Going to my Who Am I page, pasting there. Going to my reflections page and pasting there. And I'll just test it right here. If I click on it here, it should open up my portfolio page, and indeed it does. So you can see it took me back to that page. So once again, if you need help doing this, pause the video, follow the steps, and complete your HSS portfolio. And if you need further help, feel free to reach out to me or to a colleague. And congratulations for finishing your History Social Science portfolio document that we will be using throughout this course.